in A-Game's formula.
3, 2, 1.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey y'all. Hey, how you doing? How's everybody? And thank you, Sheep, for kicking it off. I appreciate that, sweetheart. So we're going to continue from yesterday. Women, when they do the right things for the wrong men. And yesterday we talked about the feminine and submissive points of view. Trying to be submissive, trying to be feminine, and then we talked about the financial investment and how that's viewed as building a man rather than building with a man. And black women specifically not really understanding how to do all of that, not understanding how to be feminine, don't really know what that is, don't really understand submissiveness and what that actually means. So a lot of black women go into these relationships trying to do these things without understanding how to do them. You come in with the wrong idea of them. You don't know what being submissive is about. You think it's about not saying nothing and not having boundaries and, you know, always being this woman that's unable to think, that doesn't have valuable input, that can't voice her opinion, that can't communicate with her man in any way, shape, or form, or else she'll be viewed as masculine. And that's not so. So a lot of black women are working on these backwards definitions of these things, and then when the relationships don't work out, you become bitter. But the truth of the matter is the relationships are not working out because of two things. You didn't vet properly, and you don't know how to do what you're trying to do. And because you didn't vet properly, you end up wasting a lot of time with a guy that never progresses. He never moves forward. And see, I'm going to actually just get into the rest of my points. I'm going to try not to just rant, because I don't want to rant. I want to really get into the meat of these things. One of the things that's problematic in these relationships is that a lot of black women are going into relationships trying to fix men. You will go get the most broken man that you can find. Thank you, Philip J. said, I know you don't celebrate Christmas like that, so here's a non-Christmas tip. Enjoy and stay the course, as I know you will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Philip. I appreciate greatly your contributions, beloved. You go and find a man that's broken. You will go find a man that ain't got nothing. And he may or may not talk about what he want to do or what he wants to be or where he wants to go in life. He may speak about these things. And you will get into an entanglement with this guy. Usually because he's able to throw your back out. That's usually the hook. Okay? That's usually the hook to get you in. Thank you, Lucasely. But then what you don't understand is that the reason you're attracted to this man in the state that he be in is because you're in that same state. You be broken too. And y'all are getting together and trauma bonding with each other. Y'all are getting together and you see the brokenness in that man. And you get into these situations with these men trying to fix them. But you can't fix nobody because you broken. You ain't worked on you. Which is why you're even in a situation with a dude that's not got nothing going for himself. And you will go right over there to that very man. And see, in a lot of y'all minds, what's going on is you'll be like, I gotta raise him up. I gotta elevate him. I have to go over here and I gotta do things to make him better. And he'll change. Thank you, Eugene Steele. It seems that not only females do not understand what submission is, but cannot seem to determine who to submit to. And that's exactly what I'm talking about today, Eugene. Not even really understanding what they supposed to be submitting to and who they supposed to be submitting to. See, the thing about all of this, you go into these relationships thinking that you can change a man over time. Like, he gonna change if you spend a certain amount of money. He gonna change if you get with him and try to be the quote unquote best woman you can be, or the best woman, whatever you think that is in your mind, whether it's incorrect or correct, it don't matter. You will try to go over there and figure that this will change this man so that he can be the thing that you think a man is, that you think that a man is supposed to be. And this don't work. This is a trauma bond. Y'all are getting together with that same kind of brokenness and trying to make a relationship out of it. And that's not where relationships come from. And you become bitter after you spend 5, 6, sometimes 10 years with a man. Thank you, Dr. CD2. With a man. And then your bitterness come in because of the time. Listen, let me tell you why you get bitter because of the time. Because women see relationships in terms of time. We cannot help it. It is a part of us. Thank you, Game Dreamer. It's a part of us to see relationship in terms of time, because we only got so much time for our peak value. And I'm not just talking about our peak sexual value, our peak value as a woman. And so when we invest time, we be like, man, I spent X amount of years. Men don't even see relationships in terms of time. Men see relationship in terms of value. Is this woman a wife or not? The time to him don't matter. He can spend 6 years with you as a girlfriend, because that's what you were to him to begin with. So he not even really trying to change that reality. He okay with that for now, unless and until he try to find a wife, and then you become obsolete because you were never a wife in his eyes. He goes to seek a wife and it's not you. That's why he's able to go get another woman and you be like, man, we was together 5 years and he never committed to me. But then he went over to this other woman and they was together only 1 year and he married to her. That's because he didn't see you as a wife. See, men see women and relationships in terms of who they are to them. Women see relationships in terms of time, because while nobody can get their time back, it's more time work against us more than it work against men. Time actually works in favor of men and it works against us. So it behooves us to understand how to vet who we are as women, who men are, so that we don't waste that kind of time trialing and erroring because we don't know what we looking for and we don't know what we doing. Okay? This is where that bitterness come in at for women. Well, I spent this time. That's too bad. See, he's unaffected by that. He's largely unaffected by the last 10 years. Because if he's was about anything, he was actually getting better and you were declining. And you got that time wasted because you never knew what you was looking for. You never understood anything about it. And this is like the problem with dating. I might do a separate video with the problem with dating. Dating and courtship, two different things. I may have to do a separate video for that because we're having a problem because people are dating and dating doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Courtship is what moves things forward. Not dating. Dating is just a series of me and you hooking up. That's all dating is. Even prostitutes, when they lean over into a car, they'll say, you want to go out on a date? Because it doesn't mean anything. The dating is the transaction. That's actually part of the problem. The dating is the transaction. I got 291 people. I got 147 likes. Come on, bam, 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 bam. You gotta get the likes up, bam, bam. You gotta, Okay, so the dates are transactional. So if you know you didn't hit the like button, please jump out, hit it, and come back in, please. Okay. Thank you, Miss Danica. Thank you, sis. So what's going on is you recognize the brokenness that makes you want to fix a man. Thank you, Shavivia, but you cannot do that. I don't suggest you do that. I don't suggest you go into a relationship trying to fix and change no man. And I actually don't suggest men try to fix women. If she obviously broken, leave her where she at. Especially if she's not making any effort to fix herself. That's something she got to do. That's a journey she needs to be on. But the other reason that you go into these relationships with these men who are down on their luck, who are broke, is because you don't need to improve yourself when the overall standard of the relationship is low. You don't need to do nothing. And that's the other thing. You're familiar with that kind of chaos. You be familiar with that type of, you ain't got to do nothing. The standard is already low. This man may or may not have steady employment. This man may or may not have stability in his life, period. Let's just say his lack of stability isn't monetary. Let's say he do keep a regular job and stuff like that, but other parts of his life is unstable. His family situation is unstable. His dwelling is unstable. His education might be lacking. His mobility might not be there. He may not be there with, you see what I'm saying? In other areas of his life, those things are unsettled and unstable, right? And you will jump right into the situation with this man with all of this instability. And then you think that because you are in a relationship with him, all of a sudden he's supposed to have this magic stability for you. And then when that never comes to fruition, you get mad at him. But really you should be mad at you because you got into a situation that was unstable. Now you can't get mad when the bottom fall out, sis. You can't get mad when the bottom fall out. You walk in on shaky ground. So the ground's shaky. He ain't all of a sudden supposed to whip into shape because you there. He wasn't whipped into shape for himself. Why would he whip into shape for you? Who are you? Who are you? Who you think you are? That just your mere presence in a man's life is supposed to make him whip into shape. That's not how that works. Because the men who were already whipped into shape, you couldn't be chosen by them men because they didn't see that same effort with you for yourself. So you go over into situations with men where you ain't got to do a whole lot of work. Because if he ain't got himself together, he can't really hold you to a level of accountability about it. And that's where all of this resentment come in at. That's why all of this, well, I don't know why he think he can tell me, you know what I'm saying, when he ain't doing X, Y, and Z. You didn't require him to do X, Y, and Z before you got with him, before you moved with him, before you had a baby with him. You didn't make these requirements. So why all of a sudden he got to meet a certain set of requirements 5 years in? When you got into this situation with him without them requirements, and he was able to dig your guts out, he was able to have kids with you, he was able to spend money, he was able to move in, all this other type of stuff. There was no standard. You wasn't looking for that. And now that you spent a certain amount of time, now you want him to shape up or ship out. That was you. And this is why I pointed out that women think a relationship in terms of time, because you think you spent a certain amount of time, that a certain amount of standard is supposed to be raised. And that's not how that go. You went into it with that. You signed up for the job with lack of benefits. Now all of a sudden you think you're supposed to get benefits when the employer already told you you don't get no benefits with this job. This a Mickey D's job. What you think you supposed to get? You back here flipping burgers with no health insurance. We ain't about to give you none. You ain't got no 401k stacking up. No. You getting in here. You making this little 925, 1025, and that's what it is. And you gonna come in and out of this bad boy smelling like McDonald's fries, okay? So if you don't like that job description, I suggest you don't sign up for it. You signing up for these relationships that don't got no benefit to them. Then you get mad when there's no benefit. And you think forging out and having children and doing all this stuff is supposed to make that man straighten up. Whatever you think straightening up is. He's supposed to not, you know what I'm saying, deal with other women. When he been dealing with other women, you met him on that type of time. And you popping up pregnant does not resolve that. Now all of a sudden you think because you got a baby in your belly from a man that you never had these conversations with, now all of a sudden he's supposed to see you as wife material. That doesn't work. He never saw you that way. He wasn't even prepared for a wife had he seen you that way. You're doing this stuff for the wrong men, in the wrong way, for the wrong reasons. And you never take the time out to step back and look in the mirror and say, how did I contribute to this? You just want to throw it off on the guy and say, well, he didn't act right. He didn't do me right. He didn't do right by me. But did you do right by yourself? Because these are choices. You're not a victim, you're a volunteer. You volunteered for a lot of this foolishness that you signing up for, and now you don't want no part of it because the outcome is not doing what you thought it would do. You thought that if you would let this man move in with you and spend your food stamps, that you was proving some type of loyalty and he was going to see some type of value in you. And that's not how that works. Because you choosing the type of guy that don't be seeing value in nothing. You choosing F-19s. You choosing F-boys. And when I say F-19, I'm not even talking about like the thug dude. Because he ain't got to be outside banging. He ain't got to be selling no drugs. He ain't got to be doing none of that. He don't got to be a criminal. A F-19 is just a dude that ain't got nothing going for himself. He floating around. He just floating around. You know, a F-19, a circle round till a runway open up. He don't care where the runway at. He be all in the wrong terminal. He don't care. And y'all will show let that same guy pull up to your terminal. He be rattling in down the runway. Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, 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 down the runway. And here you go. You think you the Car-X man. You about to fix him. No. You need to see to yourself because you are vetting men for all the wrong reasons. With all the wrong things. Because you don't even understand what you're supposed to be vetting a man for. What you're supposed to be looking for in these relationships to ensure that you get that. To ensure that you meet the standard for a man that will give it to you. Never once you looked into the mirror. This is the other problem with dating versus courtship. I got so many problems with dating and the whole dating scene. Like, I got a problem with it. And everybody else really should have a problem with it also. Everybody else should also have a problem. because the dating has messed up the marriage. And women have suffered the most because of the decisions that you make dating. You have no idea, and there's a reason. And after the break, we're going to get into the reasons why you're having these issues. The issue with your vetting process. Like my sister Danica Marie would tell you, your picker is bad. You got a bad picker, baby. You picking all these dudes, and you picking them because you see yourself in these men. You see yourself there. That's what you see. That's what you think of yourself. That's what you feel worthy of. That's the best you can do. Is these F-19s. That's the best you can do. And for a lot of y'all, that is the best y'all can do. Problem is, you stay there. You stay right there. And you don't see a reason, and you don't want to do the work it takes to not be in a position where them type of men don't even apply to you no more. And then you will spend that time as a young woman with these types of men, and then get mad at it, and then you go out there and be for the streets as if that was a better choice. Let me hit this commercial, and then we'll be back.
Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, aka Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A game, he's been on top of his A game. What? When I say A game, I mean his A game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-Game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-Game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog, just because I want some sleep. If you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-Game, fellas. Get your A-Game.
Okay, we back. I got 382 people. I got 280 likes. Come on and get the likes up. Pretty please. Okay, so we getting back into it. See, there's nothing wrong with submitting, being feminine, building with a man, putting your time and putting your investment in a worthy relationship. Nothing. The problem is that you're not accountable for the kind of man you chose. And then in order to avoid that level of accountability, thank you, Devin. Say it's very simple solution to women picking wrong. Just let the men in their family choose the men they date, but women not gonna do that. And that might be part of the other video. I don't know. Instead of dealing with, okay, what I was doing may not, or the idea behind it may not have been wrong, but I actually chose the wrong dude. Okay? So it's easier to say, well, I'm not going to be submitted because the relationship that I was in failed. That means I'm not going to do the things in my future relationships that I did in that relationship. But then you pick out all the good stuff that you did. You pick out all of the times where you were just trying to listen. You were just trying to be there. You were just trying to be like, you pick out all them things and say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore because that guy took advantage of it. So I can't be that kind of woman. Instead of looking into the mirror and say, I probably chose the wrong dude, because what was I looking for when I got with this man? See, you don't think about how you even got caught up with him in the first place. What was it? The values was lacking. The tools was lacking. Your vetting tools was lacking. Who gave you vetting tools? Think back. How do you know what to look for in a man? Where did you learn it? Did you learn it off television? Did you learn it from your girlfriends? Did you learn it from, where did you learn it? Did you learn it from any credible source that actually had successful relationship and that was giving you tips and pointers to say, okay, this is what you're supposed to look for, because you vetted for good sex and you got that, right? You vetted a man to be able to give you a couple of dollars and you got that. A F-19 will do you good and throw you some money. He'll do that. It's plenty of F-19s do that. But where were the conversations? What was you looking for when you got with this man? What was you looking to accomplish before you spent that 5 or 10 years with him? What was you looking to accomplish? And did you get it? Because if you got it, why was you expecting him to do more than what you vetted him for? Why would you expect him to do more than what you were looking for him to do? You was looking for a dude that would take you out, break your back, spend a couple of dollars with you, spend a little time with you. That's what you got. Nowhere did it say that man was going to end up and being your husband just because you got hypnotized by the sex. That don't mean nothing. That's a you problem. Sound like a personal problem to me. Because if you was looking for these superficial things for this man to give you, and then you received those things from that man, then you got what you was looking for. He didn't do you wrong. He gave you what you asked for. Just because you didn't ask for more doesn't mean he was wrong for not giving you more. Thank you, Dan Taylor. Thank you so much. Says, sis, here's a little support from an OG that have watched this for 67 years and can only shake my head. You're doing a much needed community service. The young ladies didn't get the knowledge from home. Keep doing the hard work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because this is important, especially for younger ladies that is probably right now making this very mistake. You've been there 3, 4, 5 years. He ain't doing no commitment. It's not really going nowhere. You got to look in the mirror like Michael Jackson said. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have come any clearer. You got to talk to the woman in the mirror. Why are you 25 and been with this man since you was 20? What's going on? Who is leading you? Who is giving you the information of what to choose? This is why I went in yesterday from the ladies that actually have fathers that was active in her life and active in the home. He gave you a blueprint already and you went somewhere else to get another blueprint to another dude. Now you don't know what to do because your heart getting broke. Nobody's telling you what to look for, and you're not looking for the information conversations without the biggest problem I see is you jump into things without a conversation. There's no, when are you talking to these men? And what are you talking to them about? You will get pregnant, but where was the conversation before that? Where was that conversation? You got pregnant in the midst of him having issues with 2 other baby mamas. And you marched up to be baby mama number 3 as if you didn't see that, as if your baby was going to be the baby that changed his mind. And how many women before you made that same mistake and them men didn't change? How many times you gonna see that and not recognize it for what it is? That's what I want to know. How many times are you going to see that same mistake and then think you gonna be the one, you the golden child, you gonna be the one that turn it all around? Your Hello Kitty is lined with platinum, so it's gonna turn him around where these other chicks could throw it at him like you can, so you gonna be able to change his mind. That's not how none of this works. That's what your mama told you, or that's what the television told you, or the thoughts that you follow from reality TV, or the fake cap stuff that they put online to try to tell you how they came up and this is what they did. No. That if you sex a dude right, he'll act quote unquote right. Thank you, Vernice. But you're not even so much as sitting down and ironing nothing out. You just moving. You just doing stuff. Nobody told you that you're supposed to be actually submitting to system, order, and structure. And because you don't know what that looked like control and, you know what I'm saying, a power trip to you. Even some of y'all that have fathers, you be running away from that structure. You literally, you purposely go get a man that don't have that structure because he reminds you of the structure of your father. And you didn't like that strictness. You didn't like your daddy being strict with you. So you will go to a man that ain't got no standard like that because he let you be free. But what you don't understand is that you're free with him because he don't got no structure. And he don't care enough about you to give you one. He may or may not even have one for himself. So when you get with a guy that remind you of your father, you turned off by that dude because your father had what? Rules and regulations. Yeah, your father loved you. Yeah, your father protected you. Yeah, he provided for you. But there was also parameters. There was certain boundaries you couldn't cross. Certain stuff he didn't want you doing. So now that you feel like you grown and you can get a little piece of something, little piece of action from another dude, now you don't want the rest of the stuff that come with that. He controlling. You know, he want me to do certain things. He don't want me acting a certain way around him. Who he think he is? I'm grown. You can't wait to say I'm grown. You ain't none of my daddy. That's where a lot of that come from. You ain't none of my daddy. Thank you, my names. You ain't none of my daddy means he has structure and I don't like structure. How dare you give me a structure? I'm trying to get away from that. So you running around here trying to tell me what kind of structure and what I got to do and what I can't do and this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Boop, boop, boop. I ain't trying to hear none of that, bruh. No. Thank you, 39 Dina. I don't want to hear it. How dare you try to give me standards? How dare you try to set a boundary in this relationship or set a standard higher than what I want to do? And what get missed in all of this is how you getting your heart hurt. Because you actually running away from, if you did see leadership and structure in your household and growing up, you actually running away from it. And then you don't think it's supposed to be no dire consequences that come behind you running away. The dudes that don't have this leadership and that don't have this structure are the very ones. Because it's chaotic, you tossing your heart into the mix, it can get ground up, stomped on, anything. Because this isn't the type of man that's taking different stuff seriously in his own life. So why would he take your heart and be careful with it and be mindful of it? He not going to be mindful, because in his eyes, you just another one of these thoughts out here anyway. You out here. So he don't know that you have other values, because whatever values you have or had, you're not displaying them because you're over here with him. That's how he's evaluating you. You over here with me. And I know I'm a POS. But you over here, so you must not be no better. Thank you again. Thank you, Ruminant. Said don't want structure, but want the results that come from structure. Exactly. And then after you spend this time, you figure, well, after so much time, he should have got himself together. But did he promise you that? Did he tell you he was finna get himself together? Did he tell you he was going to straighten up and do all of this type of stuff with you? No, he never said that. Because you never had that conversation with him. You met him fooling around with 5, 6 different women, and that's what he continued to do. And it was because you allowed yourself to get into a relationship with him under them circumstances, which is why he don't feel the need to change nothing, because you accept it was okay a year ago. Him having 2, 3 other baby mamas was all right when you was trying to steal him away from them. You was cool with it then. So now he don't want to hear that. A year or 2 later, now that you done dropped your baby, now all of a sudden he's supposed to be this stand-up family man when that ain't what he was when you met him. That's on you. You running around here spending money on the dude is not going to make him loyal to you. That's what works with women. That don't work with men. See, if a man get a woman and say, okay, you move with me, I'm going to pay, but I'm going to treat you right, and I'm going to give you all this tender loving care. You know what I'm saying? If she not crazy, that's actually gonna make her love him. If she not some type of crazy hyena, because we know a lot of these 304s that don't work with them. They see a mark when that happens. I'm not really talking about that right now. I'm just talking about the base nature of a woman. But men don't actually work like that. He actually comes to despise you, is what you don't know. That's the part he don't tell you. Because even if he accept that treatment, there's a part of him that don't like it. And don't like you for doing it, which is why you will be a paymaster, and then he'll have a woman on the side spending your money on her because she don't see him like you see him. You see him as a pet project. That woman see him as a man. Even if it is based on like an untruth, because he'll tell her this is his money and stuff like that. He not gonna tell her that he getting it from you, right? He not gonna really tell her that. But this is all part of the lost value system anyway, right? So it ain't no loyalty in the lost value system. It ain't no fair structures in the lost value system. So this is where we getting all of these issues from. And he'll utilize you for as long as you do that. And when he get tired of it, or when you get tired of it and you start arguing him too much about what he ain't doing and what he don't got, that's why he just go ahead and leave. he'll start doing things that make you mad. He'll start openly cheating or whatever. He'll start openly seeing other women. He'll start openly, doing this kind of stuff because he know that eventually that's gonna make you leave him alone and put him out or whatever. Because all of this was done under goofy pretenses. Without no guidance, without no structure, without nobody letting you know, sis, this is what you're supposed to be vetting for. This is what you're supposed to be getting. And not the fantasy version of what you think you're supposed to get, because that's what a lot of you is working off of. This imaginary fantasy version of femininity and masculinity. Your fantasy version of the interplay between femininity and masculinity is that you sit on your butt and it ain't nothing for you to do in terms of putting in no work or putting in no skin in the game in a relationship. He's supposed to put in all the skin in the game. He's supposed to make all the effort to make you feel beautiful and make you feel worthy and make you feel wonderful and pay all the bills and sweep you off your feet and give you all this money and provide all this beautiful home and all this type of stuff. And you just be like, that's Disney stuff. That's not life. And it ain't no use in getting mad when you actually don't receive that. That's not the true interplay between femininity and masculinity. It's not you somewhere sitting, oh, my hero. That's not how that works. The reason why your picker is bad is because you don't have a firm grasp on the reality of who you're supposed to be as a woman. You don't have a firm grasp of the 10 life values. You don't have a firm grasp of that stuff. This is what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't really know, you don't really have a firm grasp of any of them 10. You running around through life not even knowing who you are. That's based in your spiritual values, sis. And running around on the carousel doesn't teach you who you are. Being with this man and that man and this man and that man, that doesn't teach you who you are. That's not how you find that out. You find that out through introspection. You find that out through discovery of the truth. You find out who you are through insight. Looking over your life. What are your values? What are your principles? What do you stand for? What are you looking for out of life? And this is where the lost value system fails you, because it doesn't tell you what to look for out of life. It only tells you superficial things. Go get the bag. You know what I'm saying? All this kind of foolishness. And you do it by any means necessary without ever looking at how am I going about these things and how am I being destroyed as I do this. So you look for men that give you superficial things. And when that's all that they give you, that's when you get mad at them. For not giving you more, for not giving you all of these internal values that you actually seek. But you didn't even work on your own internal values. He ain't worked on them either. He caught up in the lost value system. So how is it that y'all supposed to work this through to a good conclusion? You can't. I got 498 people. I got 392 likes. So if you know you didn't hit the like button, please hit it. Got 500 people. Give me the 450 at least. Another thing, stop going into relationships looking for the love and the validation that you won't give yourself. These men are not there to fix what they didn't break. If your childhood broke you, you gotta learn how to fix that. It may not have been your fault, but it is definitely your problem. Your childhood might not have been your fault, but it become your problem when you start projecting these things off into these men and into these relationships. This is why they failing so bad. And then everybody upholds you in this foolishness, and then you never get to sit down and say, let me think about what happened. Instead of trying to be the gold medalist in the Victim Olympics about it and all the ways that he did you wrong. It's okay if you've been working on yourself and you have made a lot of strides, because there's not going to be a point in life where we are perfect. We are always works in progress, but some are further along in that than others. If you've done a great amount of healing for yourself, and then you get into a relationship and you continue to work on that healing, it's okay if your husband is patient with you within that healing. He know you healing. You're only asking for patience, or you're only asking for the support of your healing, but you're not trying to make him heal you. There's a difference. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand the difference. Because a lot of y'all go into relationships trying to make these men heal you, and that's not how that works. He don't want to do that. That's too much work. Especially if he wasn't the one that had a hand in breaking you. See, I'm not here to make attacks and judgments, but these are the real life situations that we find ourselves in. We got to be able to find our way out. It's not about just being in it and then like, well, woe is me. It's just stuff happening to me and I can't do nothing about it. Yes, you can. If you one of them women that's constantly can't be by yourself, you gotta have a man somewhere around you, whether you in a chaotic state or not. You need to pull back. Thank you, Hakeem. You need to pull back. Not even pulling back from the carousel. Don't even get on that. The carousel, y'all understand what I'm talking about when I say the carousel, right? Just jumping from man to man. That don't help you. That only further delays your healing, and that makes the problem worse. Because you're looking for men to give you what you can't give yourself, what you don't feel worthy to give yourself. You want these men to tell you the truth, but you lie to yourself every day. You want these men to be loyal to you, but you're not loyal to you. You want these men to respect you, but you don't respect yourself. These are things that's problematic. This is why I talk so much about the insight, looking inside, looking within to see where the issues start so that you can begin to work on those issues. And once you work on those issues, you will find yourself in better positions in life, dealing with a better quality and caliber of people overall, from your girlfriends to your men. Because I guarantee you, working on yourself according to the 10 life values, that is a F-19 deterrent. They do not like pulling into terminals that's going to double check and do maintenance checks. And they don't like pulling into terminals like that. a repellent. You will start not even attracting them type of men because they not attracted to better quality women. Because here's the difference. Even an F-19, he be knowing where his place is at. This is kind of still the difference between men and women, because women always think they can punch above their weight class. Men be knowing, nah, I'm an F-19 and that one over there is not going to accept me. So I'm not even going to really deal with her. Nope, I'm going to stay over here with these over here because they'll deal with me and all of my BS and all of my craziness and all of my chaos. They'll deal with that. You know, she like it anyway. She like all that foolishness. This one over here, she want structures and stuff like that. She like leadership. She want a man to be on it. You know, I know I ain't on it. Why I ain't even gonna go over there and do that? I don't even really want to talk to her. Yeah, she attractive and all that kind of stuff. I wish I could deal with her, but I ain't gonna deal with her. Like I don't want to deal with her because she got too much stuff. She got stuff going on. And she's going to hold me to a level of accountability that I can't even hold myself to, so I don't even go over there. I'm telling you, getting yourself together, ladies, gives you a better outlook on life. It gives you a more realistic outlook on you. And that better energy attract better people. Telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. You have to understand what you're looking for, but you have to realize who you are. You can't find yourself in the bed of a man. You can't find yourself over there. On the carousel. You can't find yourself on the carousel, sis. You can't do it. Looking for love from all the wrong places and from all the wrong people. The first person gotta love you is you. I know I'm going over a minute or so. I'm gonna wrap this up. But the first person is you. And you gotta love yourself. And I'm not talking about this fake self-love crap that they talk about on social media and TV. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real, actual, I love myself enough to get my life together according to the 10 life values. That's how much I love me. Before I end this show, I just recently heard and saw that a content creator here in the Manosphere, David Carroll, has passed away. So I'm sending my condolences to all that knew him, his family, his friends. My condolences to them on the passing of David Carroll. Okay? I just saw that. Okay. So this message was brought to you by A Game. All right? If you want to be on your A game, ladies, you got men in your life that you want on their A game, go ahead and click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. Okay? I want to thank everyone for their contribution. I want to thank everyone for their cash apps and for your time. And a warm thank you to my team, which none of this is possible without them. So I'm going to wrap this up and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below.
Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game. At agameherbal.com, you can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.